Avery, thank you. Genuinely, thank you for bringing something so unique and so beautiful to the fragrance space. This is Ube Brûlée. It's an HK Perfumes and Avery creation, and it is a masterpiece in my opinion. It's actually even better than I imagined. I honestly did not know what to expect because I've never smelled an Ube perfume before. Now I have tasted Ube. It's a purple yam, kind of like purple sweet potato, but it's a little bit nuttier, sweeter, and also creamier in flavor. So let's talk about this gem. Ube Brûlée is an extrait de parfum, and it has top notes of lavender, hazelnut, chocolate, apricot, heart notes of marshmallow, milky accord, toffee, and coconut, and base notes of vanilla, ube, oud, ambrostar, and musk. When I first sprayed this for the first time, my brain was so intrigued by the opening. It didn't know what it was smelling, but at the same time, it was very pleased. It's fresh, but also creamy and full-bodied. The top notes of lavender, apricot, chocolate, and hazelnut are blended in such a way that not one note stands out more than the other. So like I can't tell you that the lavender is more prominent, or the apricot, or the hazelnut, or the chocolate. And once that opening settles and the fragrance begins to dry down, the gourmand notes really begin to shine. They're all shining together, not separately. Still a little bit fresh, but richer and more complex as it starts to dry down. It's interesting, there isn't a spice note in here, but I think the spiciness slash smokiness is coming from the oud and the ambrostar. Now, after about 10 minutes or so, the dry down of this fragrance is wow. I mean, from start to finish, it's a whole olfactory experience, but once it settles down, it smells like an exotic, expensive, creamy purple ube dessert that's a little bit sweet, a little bit coconutty, and a bit smoky from the oud. If I had to describe it as an experience, it smells like an Arab woman getting ready for a date. She steps out of a fresh shower. She applies a rich, creamy, sweet, coconut, toffee, and marshmallow scented body lotion onto her skin. And then as she's doing her makeup, she's sipping on a creamy ube latte and snacking on some chocolate. She slips into a purple silk dress. She adds a bold red lip, gold shoes, and gold accessories. Then as she's finally heading out the door, she lets her hair down and lightly perfumes it with Bakhor's smoke. This fragrance to me is very feminine, but it's also classy and it's a little bit bold. It's sweet. It's super creamy. Like I said, the dry down is my favorite because the whiffs that I get of that creamy coconut and the ube and the little bit of spice, it's delicious, but not in a foodie way. And I'm personally not a huge fan of oud in fragrance, but the oud in here is done to perfection. It's very subtle, but it's giving the fragrance like just something, And because of the oud, there is something a little bit Middle Eastern about this. I just think it is perfection, honestly. Ube Brûlée does not smell like anything I own or anything I've ever smelled, but it does remind me of two fragrances, which I already have in my collection, which I love. It reminds me a tiny little bit of Musamam White Intense by Lattafa. It also reminds me of Nearly Noon by Define Me. Both Musamam White Intense and Nearly Noon share that sexy, a little bit spicy, very creamy, coconutty vibe, which I get in the Ube Brûlée. Now, these three fragrances are not the same at all, but it's the little bit of like sassy spice that they all have, the very creamy, non-sunscreeny coconut, and then that classic vibe. I'd say that Musamam White Intense and Ube Brûlée lean more like classic chic, dressed up date night evenings or like summer evenings even. And Nearly Noon gives more cozy, comforting, you are snuggled in bed with your partner type of vibes. Like I said, they're not the same, but I think if you like one, you will like them all. Something I really appreciate that Avery did is you get a sample, a free sample when you purchase the 50 ml or the 100 ml of this fragrance. That way, if you don't love this sample, you don't have to open the full bottle and you can send it back for a full refund. And I just thought that was really nice. Oh, it just gets better. I'm actually obsessed. Okay, bye.